Well, everybody, it's just a little after 1:30 here on a beautiful Saturday morning here in Pittsburgh. With your host, James Krishnarik, I bring you the final segment of tonight's broadcast of Real Steel Sports. The three previous segments, I broke down each of the remaining three divisional playoff games. This is the only game I haven't gotten to yet. And a spoiler alert right now, so if you don't want to know who I picked to win, you want to hear them for yourself, I'll give you a few seconds. Okay, I am predicting the Panthers to beat the Niners, the Seahawks to beat the Saints, and the Patriots to beat the Colts. This is the final game I got to talk about. And this is the game that I'm most intrigued by. Because you have division rivals, for one. This is the only game you get that. You have two teams with offensive juggernauts, Pro Bowl quarterbacks. What else? They're completely different how they got the playoffs. The Broncos, the top seed, they were pretty much the Super Bowl favorites from day one, along with the Seahawks. And the Chargers were an afterthought halfway through the year after they were 5-7. And it's just so interesting and so compelling. You've got two teams with defenses that can get after the quarterback. Two teams with defenses that have been starting to get a little bit better. But, again, Denver's defense has been worse, I'd have to say. But it's just going to be such an interesting game to watch. Two similar teams go head-to-head in some ways, but in some ways they're just completely different. And starting off, you got to pit San Diego's offense against Denver's defense. And this is where I think this game gets really, really tricky to predict. Because I don't know what Phillip Rivers is going to show up. I don't. He's been good all year. 32 touchdowns, 11 picks through the regular season. And last weekend in the game against the Cincinnati Bengals, Rivers didn't throw a whole lot, but then again, he didn't really need to because the Chargers more or less ran the ball right down the Bengals' throats. 40 carries, 196, and 2 touchdowns. They had a guy named Ronnie Brown who was a Pro Bowler, second overall pick in the 2005 draft, hadn't really started a game. He started 3 games in the last 3 seasons, none this year. Goes for 77 yards and a touchdown. And Phillip Rivers, again, 12-16, a $128 and a touchdown. That's all he needed to do. That's all he needed to do. This game will be different. If he seriously expects to go out there, let his run game do the work, and not have to throw the ball much at all, he's in for a surprise because he's playing the best offense in NFL history. Statistically, we have the greatest offense in league history right here. A Denver Broncos team that is just absolutely ridiculously stacked on offense. Starts with Peyton Manning and 55 touchdowns. That's just enough pressure. I'm not going to go any further. But let's just talk about the Chargers' offense against the Broncos' defense. As good as the Broncos are on offense, they're bad on defense. 24.9 points per game for 22nd lead they give up. They're 27th against the pass, respectable 7th against the run, 19th in yards allowed, 22nd in points allowed. By far from being an elite defense. The best player on defense, though, this year is Sean Phillips. Guy they brought in. Started 12-16 games. Was a right defensive end. 10 sacks, near respectable. 37 tackles. The secondary, though, their best player in secondary has been Chris Harris with 3 interceptions. I mean, Champ Bailey's almost been a non-factor this year. Only played in a few games. And I don't even know if he's going to play in this game. It's probable, but this is going to be a tough thing for Denver because San Diego's defense is, in my opinion, it's not as prolific as Denver's, but it's more versatile because San Diego can do more things with their offense. They are a better running team as far as I'm concerned, at least over the last half of the season. I mean, if you look at the last 5 games they've played, they're averaging 170 yards a game rushing. And the more that they run the football, the better they play because Rivers, who goes from having to be the catalyst on offense, goes to being pretty much just a non-factor. If Phillip Rivers doesn't have to throw the ball very often, then you're screwed because then they can run it down your throat by an offensive line that's getting better. Not the best in the league, but still getting better. And that just makes Rivers' job that much easier. If you can make Rivers' job so easy where he only has to throw 16 passes, you're not exactly doing your job as a defensive coordinator. I expect San Diego to have a great amount of success against Denver's defense. Great. Whether it be on the ground with Danny Woodhead or with Ronnie Brown or Ryan Matthews, who's questionable, but he'll probably play. That pretty much just sets you up so effectively. Now we flip it over, and how many good things can you say about that Broncos offense? 37.9 points per game, NFL record. Manning, 5,477 passing yards, NFL record. Let's see. 55 passing touchdowns for an offense, NFL record. For Peyton Manning, NFL record. 5 guys on this team score double-digit touchdowns, NFL record. That's just insane. This team is just insane. However, San Diego's defense is not to be taken lightly. The Bengals found that out the hard way. 29th in yards, 12th in rush, 23 in yards total. 29th was passing yards, and 11th in points allowed. Doesn't seem very respectable. But over the last few games, they've been getting better and better on defense. They've been forcing more turnovers, something they've been able to do all year long. And I look at this team as a team that can kind of go into Denver and beat them. However, not saying it's going to happen, but they're going to have to play the best football game that 53-man roster has played as a collective unit in its entire life. Because I don't think the Chargers are going to get the same kind of reprieve that the Ravens did. They're not going to get the same reprieve that the Ravens did last year. Let's not forget the game last year between the Ravens and the Broncos in the playoffs. That was the game where Joe Flacco stepped up and beat Peyton Manning. I'm trying to find the weather for that game. I can't really find it here, but that game was 13 degrees. This game here is 48, projected to be 48 degrees. Manning's not going to have any problems with San Diego's pass defense. The pass rush might be an issue because Melvin Ingram and that defense got plenty of pressure on Andy Dalton in the divisional round. And I think that San Diego's got a good chance of doing that again. But that being said, I don't find any scenario really where Denver comes out and is flat and ends up losing this game. I think because it's a playoff game, I think because Peyton Manning is known that this is close in his career, I think he steps it up in this game. Yes, he's had past playoff failures, but I think he gets through them. I don't think Denver's going to have 11 carries for 18 yards this time. Wes Welker will be playing this game. Another weapon for them. So they'll have access to Demaryius Thomas, Wes Welker, Julius Thomas, Noshawn Marino, Eric Decker. An offense that is truly loaded with Peyton Manning as the trigger man. I find Broncos not having success against the Chargers is not happening. This isn't going to be like in Cincinnati where they played a good offense and they were shelled at 10 points against this Charger defense. That's not going to happen. Peyton this season has attempted 659 passes and sacked 18 times. Sack percentage of 2.7%. The San Diego Chargers, although their defense has been getting after the quarterback very effectively this season, 35 sacks, not bad. 6% sack percentage. Even against the Bengals, their pass rush was not, particularly potent. Yes, Dalton got sacked 3 times, but honestly, 3 sacks. Other than that, Dalton really didn't have a hell of a lot of pressure on him, except in the second half once they adjusted their blitz packages. When San Diego adjusted their blitzes, it was a different story for Dalton. He was under pressure all day long. So my final take on this game is that I think San Diego's going to do a lot on offense, and they're going to be able to make some plays. But I don't think they're going to be able to keep up with the Broncos in the long run. A 50-degree day for Peyton Manning is like a 70-degree day for any other quarterback. He'll be able to throw the ball, no excuses, be able to get the job done, little to no wind. It'll be like playing indoors, just a little cooler. Playing indoors is a little cooler. I don't know if anyone caught that because I had to pick something up, but give me Denver. Denver in this game. I was thinking San Diego for a while as a possible upset, but when I saw the weather and thought, Peyton's in his career, this ain't gonna be bad. This ain't gonna be the same way. I say the Broncos will join the Patriots and advance the AFC title game with a 34-30 victory over the Chargers. I say that that's just going to be the way it is. It's going to be a close game, but I think that Denver will pull it off. Okay, everybody, I hope you guys enjoyed my shows for tonight. Be sure to check out my previous segments in the games featuring the Niners, Panthers, Saints, Seahawks, and Colts, Patriots. As for that, I'm done for the night. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great evening, everybody.